A toast to the best team on the floor.
Cheers. Absolutely, well deserved.
The moment she laughed and compared me to a loyal dog in front of her friends, something inside me finally went quiet. Not angry, not sad, just finished. I smiled because that's what I had always done, but behind that smile, a decision was forming, one that would change everything. When I married Elise, I believed love was about patience. She was confident and outspoken, admired by everyone. I was quieter, more reserved, the kind of man who listened more than he spoke. At first, our differences felt complementary. I thought her sharp edges balanced my calm. I didn't realize I was slowly sanding myself down just to fit into her world. The jokes started early. Little comments about how I dressed, how I spoke, how I didn't push myself enough. She'd say them with a laugh, so I laughed too. When friends were around, the jokes got louder. "He's harmless," she'd say. "He wouldn't hurt a fly." People smiled. I swallowed. Over time, her humor became her language. Any disagreement ended with sarcasm. Any success of mine was minimized. If I spoke up, she'd roll her eyes and accuse me of being sensitive. I learned quickly that silence was easier than conflict. The night everything changed was a dinner at our apartment. Elise had invited her friends, loud, confident people who thrived on attention. I cooked, served drinks, and stayed mostly in the background. That had become my role. They started talking about relationships, and Elise leaned back in her chair, wine glass in hand, and said, "Honestly, I'm lucky. He barks a lot sometimes, but like a faithful dog, he always comes back and behaves." The room exploded with laughter. I felt my face burn, but something else happened too. Years of swallowing humiliation suddenly tasted bitter. I looked around the room and saw amusement mixed with pity. No one defended me. And in that moment, I understood something clearly for the first time. I had taught everyone how to treat me. I stood up. The room fell silent. I didn't shout. I didn't insult her back. I calmly told everyone the evening was over and asked them to leave. At first, Elise laughed, assuming it was a joke. When I didn't sit back down, her confusion turned into irritation. Guests made awkward excuses and left. When the door closed, Elise turned on me, furious. She accused me of embarrassing her, of ruining her night, of being dramatic. I listened quietly, then told her I was done being the punchline of her life. She scoffed and told me I was overreacting, that it was just a joke, that I needed to grow thicker skin. That's when I finally said it. Jokes don't make someone feel small unless they meant to. She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. Maybe she was. That night, I didn't leave. She did. Slamming doors, threats, insults, all things I used to absorb without protest. But this time I felt strangely calm. Standing up for myself didn't feel empowering in a loud way. It felt grounding. The days after were chaos. Messages from her ranged from angry to apologetic. Friends reached out, some supportive, some confused. Elise expected me to back down like I always had. She thought this was a phase. It wasn't. I started therapy. Not to save the marriage, but to understand why I had tolerated disrespect for so long. I learned that kindness without boundaries isn't kindness, it's self-erasure. I learned that being calm doesn't mean accepting cruelty. And I learned that love should never feel like survival. If you're going through something similar, remember that help is available and there's strength in seeking it. When Elise came back asking to talk things through, I listened. She apologized, but the apology was shallow. She said she didn't mean it, not that she understood it. She wanted peace without accountability. I told her I wanted a separation. She laughed again, calling me weak, saying I wouldn't survive without her. For the first time, those words didn't cut me. They revealed her fear, not my failure. The divorce wasn't easy. She fought it bitterly, shocked that I didn't fold. But I stayed steady. No insults, no revenge, just truth. Life after her was quieter, but lighter. I went back to things I loved, reading, writing, long walks without feeling judged. My confidence returned slowly, not as bravado, but as self-respect. People treated me differently once I treated myself differently. Months later, I saw Elise at a social event. She made a sarcastic comment, expecting the old reaction. I just smiled politely and walked away. That moment mattered more than any argument we ever had. I learned that humiliation only works when you accept it. The moment you stop playing the role someone assigns you, the entire script falls apart. Being called a faithful dog once broke me, but standing up for myself made me human again. If this story resonated with you, I will never trade that feeling for comfort ever again. Thanks for listening.